Why did my dentist drop his tools and back away from my mouth during a routine cleaning? So I'd been going to Dr. Graham for regular cleanings twice a year since I moved to Portland 5 years ago. Super routine stuff, cleaning, polishing, the occasional filling. He always complimented me on my dental hygiene, said I had some of the healthiest teeth he'd seen for someone who drinks as much coffee as I do, but this time was different. I'd been having this dull ache in my back molars for about a month. Nothing serious, just annoying enough that I finally called to schedule an appointment outside my regular cleaning. Dr. Graham was booked solid, but they squeezed me in for a Thursday afternoon. I figured it was probably just a cavity, or maybe I'd been grinding my teeth at night again. I got to the office, and everything seemed totally normal. The hygienist took me back, asked about the pain, took my blood pressure. Dr. Graham came in all cheerful like always, asking about my work, and if I'd finally taken that vacation to Costa Rica I'd been planning. He poked around my mouth for a bit, tapping on different teeth, asking if anything hurt. Nothing seemed unusual to him at first glance. Then he said he wanted to do a full panoramic x-ray just to be safe. No big deal, I'd had plenty of x-rays before. The machine whirred around my head for about 20 seconds, and I went back to the chair to wait. I was scrolling through Instagram when I heard him call out from the other room, "Jennifer, can you come look at this?" His voice sounded different, confused, maybe. The hygienist went over, and I heard them whispering. Then Dr. Graham came back into the room, and his whole demeanor had changed. He wasn't smiling anymore. He pulled up the x-ray on the computer screen and just stared at it for a solid minute without saying anything. I asked what was wrong, and he pointed at my lower jaw. Where my teeth roots should have ended, they just didn't. They kept going, extending way down into my jawbone, almost twice as long as normal roots. But that wasn't even the weird part. The roots had these perfect spiral patterns like corkscrews, twisting down into the bone. Dr. Graham said in 30 years of practice, he'd never seen anything like it. He immediately called over his partner who'd been practicing even longer. She took one look and actually stepped back from the screen. She asked if I'd had any dental work done as a child, any surgeries, any genetic conditions in my family. I told her no to everything. Totally normal dental history, just braces in high school. She kept shaking her head, zooming in on different teeth. Every single tooth had these impossibly long, spiraled roots. She said anatomically, it shouldn't even be possible. There wasn't enough room in my jaw for roots that long. Dr. Graham started making calls. He got an oral surgeon on the phone, sent over the x-rays. I could hear the surgeon through the phone saying, "That can't be right. The machine must be malfunctioning." They ran the x-ray again. Same result. The surgeon said he was coming over to see for himself. While we waited, Dr. Graham kept measuring things on the screen, doing calculations. He said my tooth roots were penetrating into areas where there should be nerves and blood vessels, but somehow weren't hitting anything. It was like my anatomy had rearranged itself to accommodate these bizarre roots. The oral surgeon arrived in about 20 minutes. He looked at the x-rays, then insisted on doing a physical examination. He had me open wide and started probing around, feeling my jaw from the outside. His eyes got wider and wider. He said he could actually feel the spiral patterns through my jaw when he pressed in certain spots. He'd brought a portable CT scanner from his office. The 3D images were even more disturbing. The roots weren't just long and spiraled, they were interconnected. Different teeth's roots were actually twisted together beneath the surface, forming this complex web throughout my entire jaw. The woman dentist suggested maybe it was some kind of rare genetic mutation, but the oral surgeon disagreed. Genetic conditions affecting tooth development were well documented, and nothing came close to this. Dr. Graham wondered if I'd been exposed to some kind of radiation or chemical as a child. I told him I grew up in suburban Ohio. Nothing unusual. No nuclear plants, no chemical spills, just regular Midwest living. They started throwing around theories. Prenatal exposure to something, a virus that affected tooth development, even government experiments. Each theory sounded more ridiculous than the last, and none of them explained why this was just being discovered now, at age 31. I asked if this was dangerous, if I needed surgery. They all exchanged looks. Dr. Graham finally said they honestly didn't know. The roots were so integrated into my jaw structure that trying to extract even one tooth could potentially destabilize my entire mouth, but leaving them might be risky too. They had no idea if the roots would keep growing. The oral surgeon said he wanted to monitor me monthly, document everything he mentioned, submitting my case to medical journals, maybe presenting at conferences. I'd become a medical mystery. The worst part, the ache that brought me in, they couldn't find any cause for it. No cavities, no infection, nothing. Dr. Graham gave me his personal cell number and told me to call immediately if anything changed, if I had pain, bleeding, anything unusual. He scheduled me for another scan in 2 weeks to see if the roots were stable or still growing. I left the office feeling like my mouth was some kind of alien thing attached to my body.